Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl talking with Steph, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about manifestation and spirituality and learning to become the best version of yourself as a woman. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're returning, hey girl, hey, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the importance of keeping certain things in your life private. So I used to be the type of girl, y'all, that would tell everybody my business. I would just tell people my plans or things that I was working on achieving before I got it. I learned really quick the importance of not telling everybody everything. People do not need to know everything. Honestly, like I'm just one of those people. I feel like I am an open book. Like you can ask me anything. I don't really like believe in like, oh, I have secrets or like I don't care because I'm really not ashamed of anything that I've done. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've gone through. I'm not ashamed of nothing, but I've just learned like throughout my journey that it's very important to keep certain things to yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. So, for example, let's say you're working on getting a house and you're telling everybody, you're telling your friends and your family and your best friends like how I'm working on getting this house and da 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 da. And let's say even if you have everything going smoothly, sometimes when you announce things too soon, I feel like I do feel like there's nobody that can ruin what God has for you. Like if you are ordained to have this house, you're going to get this house. But I do feel like sometimes when you share that information too soon, it can kind of delay what you're trying to do because like there are some certain energies around us that sometimes you tell people things that you're trying to do or things that you're working on accomplishing, and sometimes the people that you're sharing that with aren't the happiest to hear that. There are some people out here that will be upset at you for you getting the things that you want, that God ordained you to have in this life. Like we all have the tools and the things that we need within to create lives that we are happy with. But everybody doesn't know that. Everybody is not like awake to that idea. Some people think that their circumstances is just concrete and that this is just the life that I live and I'm not meant to have a good life and whatever. So sometimes when you're sharing the greatness in your life, when you're sharing the things that are happening for you and the favor that God has over your life, some people get offended. Or maybe not even offended, but some people just kind of like their insecurities start to show. Have you guys ever tried to share good news with someone, and as soon as you told them whatever your good news was, you could just see it on their face that they're not happy for you? And they might try to, and honestly, you really have to learn how to pay attention to people. This is why I love learning psychology, because you learn so much about like people's mannerisms, their facial expressions, the way that their body language is expressing, the energy that they're giving off. Like those things are subtle hints and indicators of how a person feels about you or feels about the conversation. I definitely don't think you should take it personal, because sometimes it's not even so much about you. Sometimes it's just when you're telling people like, "Hey, I have these great things going on for me." It kind of like puts up a mirror to them, so then they start to think like, "Oh well, she's getting a house, but how I wanted to get a house too, or I want to get a house too. Well, why can't I get that?" So then some people start to feel less than, because they see that everybody is getting the things that maybe they want, but they're not getting it, so they feel that it makes them feel insecure, when really if you want something and you see that everybody around you is getting it, like for example, when I was in the process of moving to Atlanta, I saw a bunch of people that I did know and also people that I didn't know. I just kept seeing people move. I kept seeing people move. Every time I got on TikTok, every time I got on Instagram, whatever the case was, I seen videos of people moving. I knew that that was a sign that my turn is coming up. Everybody around me is moving. Everybody around me is getting a new house or a new apartment or whatever, a new home. It's my turn next. And guess what? It was my turn next. But if I allowed myself to feel like, oh my gosh, everybody's moving, everybody's getting a new house, everybody's getting a bigger house, a bigger apartment, or whatever, and I'm not getting what I want, like If you allow yourself to sit in that feeling of insecurity or of lack, that's what you're going to attract is more of that feeling, more of that insecurity, and more of that lack. So you really need to learn how to cheer for others, but also keep things that you're working on private until you know that it is set in stone. I don't tell people my plans or what I'm trying to do. I don't tell people anything until it's already done. I'm not telling nobody that I'm getting a new car until I already have the keys. I'm not telling anybody that I'm getting a new apartment until I already signed my lease and I'm already in my apartment with my keys. I'm not telling people about a trip that I'm going on until I already have everything booked because it's been so many times where I have spoken prematurely about things that I was doing and then like all of a sudden now there's a problem. Oh, well now we can't go through with this. Now there's a delay and it's just like so I feel like it's very important to when you're in the works of something, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you're about to get married, like don't be so quick to tell everybody everything because some people will really like throw that energy off with their own negativity. And I do feel like what's meant for you, nobody can ruin, but I do feel like the things that are meant for you can be delayed if you're just letting everybody just like in on your business. Like everybody does not need to know everything about you. And this goes for anything, like your relationship. You don't need to tell everybody about what's going on in your relationship. You don't need to tell everybody the things that your man does for you. You don't need to tell everybody, the arguments that you have with your partner, as long as it's not anything that's like abusive or anything like that. I just feel like part of becoming a woman and part of womanhood is learning not to talk so much, because one thing about us women, we love to talk. Me especially, I love to talk. I love to talk. So I've had to learn, and it wasn't always easy for me to learn how to like shut my mouth or not share things that everybody don't need to be known, because everybody does not need to know everything. Like just think about it, your life is your life. You don't need to have everybody in your business. And a lot of times when you let people into your business, that makes them feel like they can just comment on whatever you have going on, and they want to give you unsolicited advice, and they want to give you your 2 cents. And sometimes that unsolicited advice is not good energy. It's not positive. It's not going to pour life into you or into what it is that you're working on achieving. When I decided that I was going to leave my hometown and I was going to move to Georgia, I literally did not tell anybody until I already had things set in stone. Once I had my lease to my apartment, I think that's when I told my friends and family. Sometimes when we're trying to get a house, you're trying to get a new car, you're trying to get a job, whatever, the support and encouragement of others is always like welcome. It's always appreciated. A lot of times the things that God is doing in our lives, a lot of people won't understand. If I would have spoke too prematurely, people would have been, and honestly, like I don't think it really matters in this case because it happened regardless. But like as soon as I started telling people that I was moving, everybody was like, oh no, oh no, how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna move away? How are you just gonna move away all by yourself and you're just a girl? Like, how are you just gonna leave your parents behind? Like, what about your parents? You're not gonna be around, you're not gonna be close by anymore. How are you just gonna, like, everybody was just kind of like, girl, like, you crazy. Like, how, why? But I knew that it was meant for me. I just knew like that was part of my journey, was to leave my hometown. I knew that I couldn't thrive where I was at, but a lot of the people that were around me didn't understand that. And had I spoke too soon and let these people speak their doubt and their fear and their negativity onto my wish and my dream and my goal, who knows if I still would have went through. There has been previous times in my life where I wanted to do something and I brought it up to maybe one of my family members or one of my friends. And then they started to speak fear over whatever it was that I was doing. So then I started to feel fear because, oh, well, they said this and they said that. And I think that's why it's very, very important to watch who you listen to and who you tell things to. Because sometimes even the people that are the closest to you, like your family members, sometimes even your parents. Parents always say like, "Oh, we know what's best for you. We know what's best for you." And I know that comes from a loving place. I know that they don't mean harm when they say those things, or when parents say that they know what's best for you, it's because they genuinely believe that they know what's best for you. But I don't believe that all of our parents know what's best, honestly, because my mom thought it was best for me to stay in my hometown. She didn't want me to move away. So if I would have listened to that, if I would have listened to my mother telling me, "Oh, don't leave me. You're gonna leave me. You're my only daughter. Oh my gosh, how are you gonna leave me here all by myself?" Even though she wasn't by herself, but like that's how she was making it seem because she's just dramatic, just like me. That's where I get it from. But if I would have let that voice take over, I wouldn't have stepped out on faith, and I wouldn't have moved, and now like I wouldn't have been living this great life that I'm living. I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be thriving. I literally wake up every day and I'm just like excited to leave. Do y'all be on TikTok and do y'all be seeing like people be like, "Oh, I built this For You page brick by brick." That's how I feel. Like I built this life brick by brick. Sweat, tears, and a lot of other stuff, but I built this life because I did not let anybody get in my head and try to tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that." And that's just me. I'm very stubborn. I'm very hard headed. But I just feel like part of being a woman is knowing, like, I think there's two different women out here in the world. There's the woman that knows her power. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants, and she knows that she's going to get it. And she's not going to let nobody stand in her way. She's not going to let fear, doubt, or insecurity or anything like that stop her from accomplishing her dreams. And then there's also the woman that does the complete opposite. Who do you want to be? That's what I had to tell myself. And that's what you need to tell yourself. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that needs validation from everybody to make your decisions? Do you need somebody to tell you what to do and when to do it and how to do it and where to do it and why to do it? You can make those decisions for yourself. You have a brain, you have your own thoughts. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want from life, take some time to isolate from everybody else, get away from the noise of the world, and take some time to just reconnect with yourself. Tap into yourself. Look within. Everything that you need is within. Everything that you're looking for is inside of you. Sometimes you just have to sit still and just let your thoughts flow. Like, let your body speak to you. Let your intuition speak to you. You don't need to listen to anybody else. And I know some people may not agree with me. I do feel like there are people in our lives that can give us good insight, that can give us great advice. But for me personally, I feel like my background and just like my upbringing and how I was raised and things like that, I was raised in a very much like, I'm gonna be real, negative environment with people that think very small and let fear control them. So I knew that in order for me to step away from that, I can't be listening to people that operate in fear all the time, because everything that any type of advice that you give to me is going to be filtered through those lens of fear and doubt. And as soon as I got away from all that energy, as soon as I stopped telling people all my business, as soon as I stopped telling people my plans and stopped telling people what I was trying to do, why I'm trying to do it, my life became so much better, because the only person who I need to cheer me on, the only person that I need to say yes to whatever it is that I want to do, what the only person that I need to give me that validation, to give me that reassurance, to really listen and to really like speak to me and pour into me is God and myself. Nobody else. You can still live your life. You can still, like, I'm the type of person, I'm a very social person. I'm a social media personality. I post on social media every day, but I've learned through the years what to post and what not to post. You can still live your life. You can be whoever you want to be and still be private. It's just, you just don't have to tell everybody everything. You don't have to tell everybody everything. I have a lot of things that I'm working on this year. Nobody knows about it, and they're not gonna know until it's already done. When I share things with the world, is because this is the finished product, and this is how I got here. Either you can get inspired. If you don't get inspired, keep it pushing. Then I'm not for you. If you're a person that watches my channel, or you watch my content or whatever, my content is to inspire and to motivate other people, because I once was a person that did not like my life. I once was a person that was very a victim mindset, and I felt like I just didn't have control over what happened to me. Trying to like share your business with other people, think about why are you doing it? Are you looking for validation? Do you have this business idea and you want to go telling everybody about this business idea because you want somebody to validate you? Validate yourself. God gave you that idea. If you have a desire to have a business, God gave you that idea. Act on it. That's the only validation that you need is the desire that I want this. And that should just be it right there. So that wraps up our video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was beneficial to you. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok and follow me on Instagram. And make sure you check out my website. Check out my ebook if you haven't checked it out already. It's completely free. I have an ebook on my website that talks about how I manifested my dream life and how I've made it this far on my journey. It's completely free, so I would love it if you guys read it and checked it out. Okay, I'm going to be back next week with another video, but until then, I hope everybody has a great, great week. Okay, make sure you pour into yourself, make sure you spread love and light with others, and make sure that you walk every single second of every single day like you are that one. Okay, love you guys. Bye.